Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Plastic Hype. Now I'm your host John, thanks for tuning back in to our channel. So, what you hopefully have noticed today is something is slightly different. I want to have a different type of format. Where previously I went into doing some slideshows, trying to I guess create some kind of deck to go through with you guys. But now I think it's actually going to be better, after thinking about it, to have some videos instead. So the stuff that's really exciting, I think what excites me is sometimes I see an incredible promo video or some of the stuff that drums up the hype. So we're going to watch them together, and that's the new format. So you can go through the cool stuff together instead of just looking at some slideshows. Now, if you have watched us before, thank you. I appreciate you for coming back to watch us. So the format of this Plastic Hype series is going to be half of it's going to be Age of Sigmar because it's awesome, and I really love it. And then the other half is board games. Now, you might ask, why is that, John? Why is that so weird? Age of Sigmar and board games. Well, the short version is a couple of years ago we started. Actually, maybe like 3 years ago now. Seems ages ago. When COVID was hitting, we decided to play board games instead of gluing onto the screens. And so I introduced my son into board games. And then halfway through that journey, I started playing Age of Sigmar. I dabbled in it. I got addicted. Try to get Levi into it. He was not keen. So we have now two branches now, two realities, where my son's really into still in the board game stuff. Now I'm in board games, but also in Age of Sigmar, because they're equally as cool. So we dedicate the show half to the Kickstarter crowdfunded projects, half to Age of Sigmar, which of course hypes me. So I hope it hypes you as well. Now, this is kind of like a new format today, so bear with me if things don't go perfectly. And of course, I am trying to monitor the live chat today, so if you've got any questions, fire them through, and then we can look at that stuff together. Yeah? All right, so let's go into the first exciting thing we have. All right. Now, what I've got on my screen now is the Free Guild. The new stuff that's coming out of Age of Sigmar, still in version 3, yes. And let's have a look at this video together. The Free Guild Fusiliers. Bring them.
Where's that black powder, Squire? These guns won't reload themselves!
I don't know about you. I'm pretty hyped after watching that. So they're supposed to be the new units coming out of Age of Sigmar for the Cities of Sigmar. Well, for me, this is probably not the army that I'm going to go for, but I can definitely see the excitement in it. I mean, look at that model. If you saw the excuse me, some of the detail on this, you are getting a cannon. You're getting a cannon. What? And you're going to get a group of them. Now, of course, we don't know how they can be pointed, how big they are, and what's going to be involved in these models. But for now, that looks very cool. All right, and the next one I've got in the Plastic Hype is still about the Age of Sigmar, because right now, City of the Sigmar is releasing a whole bunch of new models. I think we briefly touched on this topic last week. Essentially, the box kit's been confirmed. So what we're looking at here are all the new miniatures is going to come in the box set. But I guess that's not the latest hype, right? The hype here is they've confirmed some of the units of the existing City of Sigmar, which essentially came from the old world. What's going to happen to them? Because, I mean, as an Age of Sigmar player, not playing the old world and not playing City of Sigmar, what does this mean? Well, for me, it's good to know what new models are there, but also when I'm building a list, because I've got a lot of armies in the Order Grand Alliance, I want to know what models I can use and what models are not going to be staying around, so to speak. So this article talks about that. Essentially, what they're saying is Dwarden, which is dwarves in the Age of Sigmar world, and elves are kind of hanging around. Exactly what's going to happen, we don't know. Yep. There's a rumor going on. Elves and Dwardens have been serving for the past few years. They may get their own faction. I don't know, right? That's hype. Potentially is going to happen. Or they may go away and come back into more factions. Now, what I would love to see is some of the high elves and wood elves, personally. I don't know. What are you guys looking forward to see there? All right. Now, separately, what they've got here is the header, units leaving the range. So at first glance, this would seem like a bunch of Stormcasters leaving. No, that's not entirely true. If you read this a little bit further, just dig into the details, these are the units that's going to be leaving, not the Stormcast, which is this nice big picture here, right? Now, I guess the main one for me is the Sisters of Thorn, which is this model in the second bottom corner, second one to right, Sisters of Thorn. They look very cool. I'm kind of sad that they're leaving because I've thought about getting some of those models just because they look great. And I liked how they play in Total War Warhammer 3. Okay, all right, they're gone. I'm a little bit surprised the Demi-Griff Knights are gone because I think they're cool. If I was going to play City of the Sigmar, going to pick up some new models, that might be one of those. So never mind that, they're gone. I don't really play any of the other models except for the Phoenix. So I've been thinking about playing the Frostheart Phoenix for a while. I think recently the points is dropping to something a lot more reasonable than otherwise for a big beast. It does decrease people's ability to hit, which makes your whole army more tanky in a bubble. But anyway, there's no point talking about that now because they're going to be gone. But what that means for us is, hey, look, if you go into the Age of Sigmar app right now, you can still add that Frostheart Phoenix or the Phoenix into your list. So if you have that model, you want to bring it to the table, now it could be that chance, I guess, between now and whenever they completely update or drop the new City of Sigmar book, they're going to be gone. You can't use the Phoenix in competitions anymore, which is a shame. But what is more of a shame, in my opinion, is that the Phoenix model doesn't look very cool. Yeah, I wish they were much cooler. Otherwise, I would have ran them. Food for thought. Maybe they're going to go away and come back with a better model in a couple of months. Who knows? All right. Now, the next thing in the Age of Sigmar world, I know this is not talking about plastic per se, but they have just released a whole bunch of battle scroll updates. So what that means for the guys who's watching who haven't seen this yet is new rules. I guess you can kind of call them fine tweak to the rules that aims to make the game better. So it's freely available on the community website, and of course the pink text is the one that's new. We're not going to go through all of them today, otherwise that's a whole video in itself. And I think the other guys in the community out there have done a much better job, a better job than I can ever do. So I'm not going to go through these changes. If you are interested, though, I would recommend checking out the Honest Wargamer, Vince, and also the coach, AoS coach, for the changes. Now, what is interesting, and I really want to talk about, at least for a minute or two, are the new points changes. So if I now look at the order factions point change, of course, I like these because I am an order player. At a glance, what we're looking at here is green means the points are going down. Red means the points are going up. So logically, that translates to if you're playing any of these models in green, you can now field more of those models. Possibly for less. Yep. So if we have a look at Stormcast, which is of course the first army I've ever started, I have been pretty frustrated with some of their points compared to the other units because, I mean, Stormcast doesn't seem to be winning me too many games these days. So what is cool? So for example, if I look at the Vigilers, which I've been wanting to play forever, they're always just not enough of a value for 180 points to start off even higher. I think it was 195 points, went to 180 points, or 170 points. Now it's 150 points. Now at 150 points for those cool models, I'm definitely going to run them. So that is very cool. I'm a little bit sad to see they have decreased the points for the two other endless spells they have. So Celestian Vortex and Dias Arcanum, they're down 10 points. But I really like to see would be if they drop the Everblaze Comet down a bit, because I love the Everblaze Comet. If you haven't seen my video that I've done recently on the Last Dice Arcade, we did a battle report on the Everblaze Comet. Super cool. Yep, I wish they dropped that. But another good example is Krondas. Krondas, I think when it first came out, when I first got into Age of Sigmar, I wanted dragons. So Krondas was about 600 points. Now is 520. Now, am I going to play it? Nah, probably still not. I think Krondas is still way too expensive. It's like an insult to not have plus X to unbind and no ward save. Okay, ward save is probably fine, but come on. Come on. The Prince of Dragons get +3 to cast, but no pluses to unbind. What kind of world are we living in? Well, I guess that's the Mortal Realms. Okay, so I guess in a nutshell, we see a lot of greens here. I think it's very healthy for the game. Essentially letting you field more units. They're trying to balance it more. What does it mean in terms of plastic hype is if you have got some models that you loved, you wanted to play them, but you couldn't put them on the table competitively, now you can. I was just looking at my Daughters of Cain list the other day. It's essentially gone down 120 points with no changes, because you can save the list in your Age of Sigmar app. I'm opening my 2,000 point list. It's more than 100 points down. Fabulous stuff. So that's very cool. All right, I'm not going to go through all these points changes. As I've described, I just mentioned before, if you want to dig into the details of the battle scroll changes, check out Rob Honest Wargamer. Have a look at Vince's hobby cheating video. And I really also like the AoS coach here in Australia. Okay, all right. Now, that is pretty much it for the Age of Sigmar stuff. Have you, anyone who's watching, came across other cool Age of Sigmar stuff that is worth hyping? I don't know. If you have, leave them in the chat. I will have a look at them. Yes, I would love to. Yeah. I think recently what's been happening with the Warhammer community in the last few weeks has all been 40k. And for those of you who don't know 40k or haven't caught up with the latest in 40k, essentially they've dropped the 10th edition in a Warhammer world. Now, if you can't comprehend what that means, essentially, for those of us in IT, it's like dropping a new version of Windows. Suddenly, Windows 12 is out, and so lots of hype, big changes. Go do a whole heap of marketing on it, and that's kind of what's happening in the Warhammer world. It's all going towards the 40k. Yep. Anyway, I don't do 40k here, so moving on to what's cool in the Kickstarter world or the crowdfunding world. Okay, I think the first one, Modred. Very cool. Now, let's have a look at this video together. Now, I don't know about you. I really enjoyed watching that. So the feeling I got from this game is kind of like the cross between Blood Rage and what's a good comparison? Actually, I can't think of a good comparison in the sense that they seem to have many different themes of models. So you get knights, you get elves, you get dwarves, and then other mythical creatures. I think that's very cool. Now, if we quickly glance at some of the important stuff, this is 2 to 4 players, so it's not for a solo player. Yep. They say about 90 minutes, so it's probably going to be 90 minutes to 2 hours. That's the main thing. And the basic pledge is 110, so you could be expecting to add about $50 on to the shipping, and we're working with USD here, so for Australia that would be about 200. Now, what grabbed me for this campaign is, I think, the art style. I really enjoy this one. Slightly different from some of the other ones, and actually the excuse me, the artwork reminds me of Blood Rage somewhat. Just that watercolor style, I do really like it a lot, and it's quite easy to look at. I think it looks really good. Now, what is surprising here is, excuse me. Okay, water first. Right. What is surprising here is, considering how good I think this project looks, it's not really doing that well in the standard of Sigmar games or Command games. Because, I mean, typically they're looking at millions. Now, of course, this isn't exactly tied to an IP. I guess like Zombicide, like Marvel stuff that they were running before. But I'm really surprised it barely hit over 500,000. Or if that, right? So, I mean, how much have they got right now? They have got, less than 500,000, which is very little for Command games, I think. Okay, right, fine, right. So that's what the community is saying about this with their dollars. But, I mean, look at the miniatures. I think this is very cool. So these are painted. Nice, right? Looking at them painted is always nice. So if we zoom in a little bit more to look at the miniatures in better detail, I think these are great. I mean, I'll be having a lot of fun painting this. I don't know if you guys are miniature painters. I mean, I really enjoy miniature painting because it relaxes me and stuff. But it's really boring to paint an army or a whole squad of miniatures that all look exactly the same. All right, I'm just going to put it out there. But then if you look at these models, every one of them is different. So, of course, they put a bit of effort to sculpt these. But if you're going to paint these, man, I think you're going to have a great time. Yeah. So, okay, what does the rest of the campaign give us? It gives us some, additional miniatures. Nice. And then you can buy some exclusive warbands, I guess, factions. Pretty standard stuff. I'm not too excited about the additional buys, but I think the base game itself is pretty cool. Now, I'm very surprised that it's not doing well. I am interested to see how it's going to go in the coming days and weeks. How many more days have we got left in this? We've got 10 days left, and it's barely only 500,000, so surprised. But let's see how it goes. I would like to try this game personally myself. And, okay, that's that. All right, next one I think is very interesting is the legendary version of Cyclades. Okay, I was watching this before, so let's watch this together now.
O divine protectors of our cities, grant me your strength and wisdom to ensure my reign above all others. May the battle begin. More strategic and spectacular. Discover the Director's Cut edition of Cyclades, Legendary Edition, a game by Bruno Cathala and Ludovic Maublanc, illustrated by Miguel Coimbra. The goal of the game? Control 3 metropolises. There are 4 ways to build each one. Control 4 different buildings, recruit 4 philosophers, conquer a metropolis, or use a hero's power. The modular game tiles create a unique map every time you play. Each player begins with 3 land areas and 3 sea areas. At the start of a cycle, you gather income from your territories. Each round, players vie for divine favor by bidding. Bid on a god. If a player offers more than you must bid on another god. When each player has a different god, they take their actions. With Poseidon, master the seas. With Ares, control the land. With Zeus, deepen your devotion. With Athena, impose your culture. With Hera, reinforce your ranks. With Apollo, accumulate wealth and strategic knowledge. Change the course of the game with the awesome powers of mythological creatures and heroes. Cyclades Legendary Edition contains 67 cards, 175 tiles and tokens, 10 large land tiles, 96 soldier and ship figurines, 15 hero and creature miniatures, 55 3D buildings and metropolises. Follow us on Kickstarter.
Boom! Okay, there you have it. Hey Josh. Good to have you back again. So this is Cyclades. Now, Cyclades is an interesting one because it's not the first time this game's out. If you go to Board Game Geek, or you know what, just Google. If you Google Cyclades, you'll see it's been around for a few years. And it's been introduced to me as an other version you could play on Mythic Battle Pantheon, which I really enjoyed, and we make some videos on that before. But now looking at this campaign, Cyclades gives me ideas. It's kind of like Risk, but in the Greek mythology world on steroids with a lot... okay, let's not use the word steroids. With a lot of power-ups and a lot of interesting twist to it. The things that stood out for me is, I mean, if you look at the screen that we have now, that's frozen on now, there are really a whole bunch of miniatures, which is why it's on the show, because it's got a lot of plastic, and I'm hyped about it. Plastic hype. It's got a lot of miniatures, a lot of components, and the cool thing on this one is it did talk about in the middle there how all the map tiles are interchangeable, so modular. You can play around with those, so no game's going to be the same. Well, I guess, I mean, it might be the same, but unlikely. And I think that's cool, because then every time you play, you might go, okay, last time was too hard, let's make it easier for some newcomers, or you could, I guess, make it really complicated, or as tough as possible. And of course, you can randomize them to make it more interesting. I think that's cool. All the gods got a theme. That's cool. But I think the main thing is it doesn't seem too hard to pick up, but you can really interact with the components. You can really interact with the other players, and I think that part is cool. All right. Because everyone just want a good time, right? Cool components or not, doesn't matter if you're not going to have a good time. And I think games like this one, you're going to have a good time. All right, so let's have a look at the key thing on the pledge here. Well, first up, it's 23 days to go, so if you're interested in this, probably follow this and check it out in the next couple of weeks. I bet they're going to have new stuff coming into the campaign, so, check that out. We're still early days. So how much is it? Yeah, if you want to back it, how much is it going to be? So I'm going to drop down here to the Meeples pledge. I think this is always the first place to look at, because not everyone's into miniatures and painting miniatures like me. And not to mention, if you have miniatures, you also got to store them. Yeah. But Meeples, you just throw them in. Yeah. Who cares? You can just crush them in bags. Who cares? They're going to survive. And you're not going to be able to do that with plastic miniatures. So you're looking at, okay, 59 euros. Not bad. Yeah, not bad. I guess probably about $100 Australian. You can tag $30 on top for shipping if you're sharing with a friend. But anyway, we'll look at shipping down a bit more. First up, stretch goals. I mean, let's not go through stretch goals because it's still early days. It's going to keep coming up. But right now, we're looking at, I don't even know who that is. Guryon? Goyon. Okay, I've been exposed. I don't know how to pronounce that. These times, I really miss Levi. And for those of you who are watching the show for Levi, he's not feeling that well today, so he's gone to bed, even though there's no school tomorrow. Anyway, he might be back in the future. Leave us a comment. Tell Levi to come back, and I'll drag Levi. I will hope to convince him back for future shows if you want to see him. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be unlocking a lot of other miniatures as the campaign go on. So let's skip that for now. You guys can come back to look at this later. What I'm really interested in is not the components, because I mean we can stay here for half an hour, right? And that's kind of the fun thing for you to look at this, look at all the stretch goals and free stuff that you'll be getting as you are thinking, should I pledge my hard-earned dollars onto this campaign? Because John said it was pretty cool. I don't know. All right, now let's scroll to the bottom because I want to check the shipping. Yep, super important. How much is shipping going to be? We are in Australia here, so Zone 2. Holy moly. 50 euros, 50 to 70 per pledge. So if you add that on to the standard pledge of 100, that's probably going to be closer to 300, 250, 300. Okay, first up, I think it's cool. I think all the components are good. For me, is this a 300 mark game? I'm not sure. I like it. Maybe it's not for me. But hey, it's not about me. If you like it, that's what matters. If I brought you something new to consider, I think I've done the job that I set out to do. Pet. All right, okay. Let's have a look at the next one. Now, this is just a new one because it's not out yet. Let's check it out.
Stop. Don't go in there. Or think twice before you do. For it is a dangerous world. Eerily beautiful, yes, but perilous. Even though its balance is protected by mighty ancient dragons, local beasts will have no mercy on you. And worse is soon to come. We thought it was just a legend, but when moons aligned, a gateway to the Shadow Realm opened and spewed devouring darkness into the world. Some say that dragon guardians have enslaved humanity, and once we join the darkness, we will hunt the dragons down and live freely. Others, though, laugh in the face of darkness, ready to protect the dragon guardians. Together, with their spirit-bound companions, they are waiting for the great battle to begin. The war is upon us. Do you have the courage to step in? And if you do, which side will you choose?
Okay, so that's an Awakened Realms. I love all this stuff, and that's why I want to show this. What is cool is you can pick a side, so it's not linear. It's supposed to be a cooperative game. Now, it did present us an option to be laughing in the face of darkness, or whatever the exact word they said. That's me. That's very cool. I'm looking forward to this. What is cool here is, why I bring it up again is, if you fall down, you get a free gift. Why not? Yeah? Just follow. If you don't, you're not going to back the game, then cancel out of it. Who cares? Yeah, doesn't matter. But if you do like it, you're going to get something free. Who doesn't like free stuff? All right, next one. Now, this one is not a completely new game. This is Wild Ascent. One of my friends, Warhammer friends, good old Johnny, he's backed this. I don't think he's got this yet. And I brought it up because the late pledge is open to everyone again. I didn't know this before. Maybe it's already been open. But anyway, I found this. I thought it's interesting. For those of you who likes a lot of big miniatures, you might want to check this one out. Now, what is cool here is, well, let's zoom in a bit for those of us who's interested in gaming here. Look at these miniatures. I mean, I could scroll down for days. Look at the scroll bar here. I could scroll down for days and find all the miniatures, but I mean, you probably know of this game already. If you haven't, though, now might be the time to look into it. I think this is like hunting, farming, and then big boss fights, because there are lots of big beasts to fight. Cool. I think that's kind of cool. Is this for me? I don't know. Probably not. Levi is not too keen to play this type, I think, for me. So I'm out, unfortunately. But hey, I hope this is something cool for you. And hopefully you can get something out of this. Yep. So this is Wild Scent. Yeah, back it if you want. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not going to show the video because this campaign's been around for a while. All right, so check that out. Okay, last one. I think this is cool. So let's have a look at this together.
Greetings, Planeteers. We've taken...
Hey, what happened?
Going to need a backup plan to preserve the future of humanity. We still need 1 to 6 Planeteers.
Oh, wow. It is not loading. So I'm going to try that again. Because previews are worse when it doesn't show you anything. So, okay, I'm going to try that one more time. If it doesn't work, we'll just look at the text themselves. Okay, here we go.
Greetings, Planeteers. We've taken damage from the recent meteor shower, but the planet is still okay, while your primary objective remains unchanged.
Alright, seriously, there's something wrong with this video, so boo-hoo. Alright, not the best marketing here, but let me show you what I think is cool in this campaign. Okay, the first up is, okay, we're gonna skip this part first. Let's get to the good parts. Okay, important facts, always important to look at. So this is 1 to 6 players. That means you can solo, and the game is only 20 minutes plus. So supposedly you can whip out, the game and get it done within half an hour. Cool, all right, and also the barrier entry is low. If you saw the other games before, it's basically 14 plus. This one starts at 10, all right. For those of us who have family, that's a plus, right? I'm looking at you, Josh, and other guys out there. By the time you get this game, you might be able to play with them already. Cool. Now, next thing that is cool is, look at this. Look at this spinning object. You get a flying saucer with this game, eh? Or Lazy Susan, yeah? So if you bought this and the game, you didn't like this game, or you killed this game, as in you've played it to exhaustion, not interested in the game anymore, you can still use this to share food with your family. That's like Lazy Susan. All right, that's a terrible dad joke. Moving on. So I think the concept of having a shareable component that you can put in the middle of the table and play with your mates, so it saves you a lot of packing up time, unpacking time, and ergonomics to reach the stuff that you need. I think that's clever. More people should do this, quite frankly. So I think that's good. I really like that. Okay, so that got my attention, and then I looked into it more, and it seemed good. Now another thing that's good is I always like some good game trays when you pack your components. So they use game trays. Fabulous. Yep. Good quality stuff. And now let's have a look at the pledge quickly. You're looking at 130. Yep. Okay. Not bad. You can go cheaper if you have the base already. Like you can just do the reprint, or you can have both. Yep. Yeah. Go nuts or go retailer. Buy 4 copies and split with your mates. Yeah, how about that for an idea? You're welcome. Yeah, Josh says Susan. That's right. Okay, now what can you get from this? I like the fact they kind of do a la carte kind of style. You can decide how you want to spend your money. I appreciate that thought. So what that means is if you want some components but not others, you can do that. You can break it up, right? Get more mats, get plastic bits, get wooden bits, whatever bits that tickles your fancy. I appreciate that, because sometimes for those of us who have a lot of plastic games or I guess, a fancier / premium board games, not all components are equal. I mean, if you take Tainted Grail, for example, great game, great story, love all of it. But if you bought the plastic miniatures together with Tainted Grail, you'll find that the plastic miniatures themselves cost almost as much as the game, and you hardly use them. Yeah, go figure that one out. Yeah. So, yeah, no, I do like that. It does look simple to play. I don't know how well it plays because I've never played the base game of it, but I do think it's interesting. What did catch me out is this section here. Okay, I probably won't go through everything, but I'm just going to go through this particular part that I guess alerted my board game sense. Is I'm worried about this. If they gave me these gigantic sheets to put on a table to keep track of my stats and things like that, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm going to knock it over. It's going to get in the way of stuff. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of these kind of trackers. Now, maybe it's going to be double layer. Well, it does say like triple layer, right? Great. But I can't quite picture how they're going to implement that. So that's the thing. Yeah. If it takes a lot of space, I think it's just going to be a big no-no for me. But anyway, I think it's interesting. Look at how they build a planet. I think that's kind of cool, right? So you can build your own planet, and how cool is that? I think that's really cool. You build planet, I build planet. Your planet's good, my planet's cool too. Yeah, we can be friends. High five. Yeah. All right. So that's that. Now I did have another game that I want to look at, but it seems like I've lost a link to that. So never mind. We've already gone over time, well, more time than I expected. We can always cover that next time. So that's that. But for those of you who are watching this now, if you haven't checked it out before, do have a look at our Power of the Everblaze Comet video. I was trying a new format.
Here we're going to be doing a 2,000 point battle report for a one-day event hosted at Dice Arcade back in May. I brought along my Stormcast Eternals led by the General Knight Arcanum, wielding the power of the Everblaze Comet, supported by Celestin Prime, Fulminators, and Evocators on Celestial Draconland. Did the Golden Warriors of Sigmar led by Knight Arcanum prevail over the other 17 powerful armies? Well, stay tuned and find out.
Yeah. And yeah, do check it out. I mean, even if you don't like it, give me a comment so I know you don't like it and I can change it. Or if people actually care about this at all, because it seriously took ages to edit. If people don't like to watch it, or it's not really good content, I would really appreciate it if you give me some friendly feedback. Or you can just tell me I suck. I'll take that as well. All right, so that's what we've been doing. I'm still editing the part 2 of the video. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that I've been working on, right? So what I have been working on. And let's have a look. So I just took this picture today, right? This is a Seraphon. I'm trying to build the Seraphon list. I've just painted some models. And if you can see here, I'm trying to paint the Raptidon charges that's in the middle of the picture. Holy cow, they're taking me a lot of time, but they are so much fun to paint. So if you are thinking about starting Seraphon, I know some of you are. Josh, I'm looking at you. You're really going to enjoy this. I hope you get to spend some good quality hobby time, sit down and paint some minis. I'm also trying to build some Saurus guards, or temple guards, or whatever they're called nowadays. So I got to kit bash some of them because they're the old models. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how they looked, but the new Saurus look awesome, right? So I've got another view of this, a flat view, to see my army. I think I've got most of my models in here. I'm missing an oracle on the other dinosaur, whatever it's called, Troglodon, whatever, right? I'm missing the skink oracle in this list because I've just recently worked on that. I was still priming the head yesterday, Actually, no, I lied. I was still priming the head today, and it took me a long time because my primer clogged. Boo-hoo. That's this one, right? Still trying to prime the head of my Skink Oracle's beast. I don't know if the camera can see that. Very cool stuff. Yep, really enjoyed it. And I am kit bashing some of the old Saurus. Oh, okay. I realized I didn't show my screen, so I'm going to do that now. Sorry, guys. So I'm trying to kit bash my old Saurus and make them into a Saurus guard. Give them big, bad shield. I'm going to give them big, thick one. Let me try and find it. So I don't know if you can see this. So he's going to have a meaty shield. And then I'm also thinking about giving them a big shield like their Annihilator shield, because they're awesome, right? And then separately, yeah, I was saying that I was priming the head of the beast on the Skink Oracle. So that's what I've been doing. Dice Arcade's coming up next weekend, so I need to put something together. I really don't think I'll be able to paint all my 20 Raptidons. It's just too much work, and I really want to do them well because they're a lot of fun. So I'm not going to rush them this time, and I'm going to paint them one at a time, or 2 models at a time. And yeah, see how we go this week. And so, yeah, tell me what you think if you're watching this. Tell me what you think of the battle report that I did the other day that I kind of showed you a couple of minutes ago. If it's good, let me know. I will make another video for the next one-day event with my Seraphons. Yeah, so if that's interesting to you, let me know. So I'll make that video. And that comes to the end of the 10th episode of Plastic Hype. And if you're still watching, thank you very much. I appreciate you. And I hope you'll come back in the future. And if you're new to this, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the future as well. And I guess one last thing I want to update everyone who does follow this channel or the series. I am going to be trying to run these Plastic Hype sessions every week now instead of every 2 weeks. So we can try that, and I will try and run them live, and for personal reasons, if I can't, I'll let you guys know in the channel so you don't miss out. So it's going to be every Sunday night, something to, I guess, listen to while you're doing your dishes or chores or whatever it might be, or if you want to see my face and me struggling with this whole new streaming technology, or this new movement. Yeah, have a good time at my expense. I'm cool with that. Or if you're into plastic stuff, yep, leave me some lines and we can be hyped about the plastic together. That's what it's about. Like all the time, thank you for watching. I'll love to see you next time. And in the meantime, roll 6s and have fun with your plastic.